Before the pyramids, before Atlantis, there was Sumer. In the quiet land between two rivers, human civilization took its very first breath. Before the world knew cities, kings, or written words, there was a wide, silent land shaped by water and sky. Between the gentle curves of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the earth lay flat and open, waiting. At dawn, a soft golden light spreads across the fields, reflecting off slow-moving channels of water carved by patient human hands. Mist rises from the riverbanks as the first birds call across the wetlands. The air is cool, carrying the scent of damp soil and reeds swaying in the breeze. This is Sumer, the place where humanity first learned to settle, to build, and to remember. Small clusters of mud brick homes rest near the water's edge. Their walls glow softly as the sun lifts higher. Fires from the night before still smolder beneath clay coverings. Inside, families begin to wake. There is no rush. The rhythm of the rivers guides the rhythm of life. A woman steps outside and draws water from a canal using a simple clay vessel. The water moves quietly, reflecting the pale sky. Nearby, a farmer walks toward his field, carrying a wooden plow pulled by oxen. The land here is generous when respected, and the people of Sumer have learned to listen to it. Beyond the homes, the silhouette of a ziggurat rises slowly from the morning haze. Its massive stepped form reaches toward the sky, layer by layer, like a man-made mountain. It is not a palace, not a fortress, but a bridge between earth and the divine. Even in silence, it commands presence. As sunlight spreads across the city of Uruk, shadows retreat along the narrow streets. Merchants arrange baskets of grain and dates. Potters inspect clay vessels left to dry overnight. Children move quietly between homes, their bare feet touching the cool earth. Life begins again, just as it has for thousands of mornings before. The people of Sumer do not yet know that they are creating history. They do not know they are the first. They simply live, guided by rivers, seasons, and the quiet belief that the world is filled with unseen order. Above them, the sky brightens. Clouds drift slowly, and the wind carries the soft sound of reeds brushing against one another. The land between the rivers awakens. This is where writing will be born, where laws will be shaped, where the first cities will rise from mud and memory. But for now, it is only dawn, calm, ancient, and full of promise. As the sun rises higher between the rivers, the land of Sumer comes fully alive. The morning light spreads across canals, fields, and narrow streets, revealing a world shaped by careful hands and patient generations. This is no longer a wandering land of temporary shelters. This is a place of permanence, one of the first places on earth where people chose to stay. Mud brick houses cluster together, forming winding neighborhoods. Their flat roofs catch the sunlight, warming slowly. Ladders lean against walls, leading upward where families dry grain, mend tools, or rest in the open air during the evening. The city feels compact, protective, as if each home leans gently toward the next. Along the canals, people begin their daily work. Water flows steadily through carefully dug channels, feeding fields of barley and wheat. Farmers guide oxen with soft voices, their wooden plows cutting shallow lines into the dark soil. The rhythm is slow and steady, pull, press, pause, matching the gentle movement of the river itself. Nearby, women gather at stone grinding platforms. They crush grain into flour with smooth circular motions, their hands strong and practiced. The sound of stone against stone is quiet and repetitive, almost soothing. Children sit close by, shaping small figures from bits of clay or tracing patterns in the dust with their fingers. In the heart of the city, a small market begins to form. Baskets of dates, fish dried in the sun, woven reeds, and clay vessels are laid out carefully. There is no loud bargaining, no rush. Trade here is personal, built on familiarity and trust. People greet one another by name, exchanging goods along with quiet conversation. Potters work near shallow pits filled with wet clay. They shape bowls and jars by hand, smoothing the surface with water and bone tools. Each vessel is unique, marked by subtle curves and fingerprints that remain long after the potter has moved on. These simple objects will carry water, store grain, and hold offerings, essential parts of daily life. Not far away, a man sits beneath the shade of a reed canopy, pressing symbols into a small clay tablet. His stylus moves carefully, forming wedge-shaped marks. These signs are not meant to be beautiful. They are meant to be remembered. They record grain deliveries, trades, and promises. This quiet act, repeated day after day, is changing the world, though no one yet realizes it. Children move through the streets carrying water jars, helping elders, or chasing one another between doorways. Their laughter echoes softly against the mud brick walls. Dogs wander freely, settling into patches of shade. Life flows gently, guided by the sun and the rivers. At the center of the city, the ziggurat stands firm and watchful. Its stepped sides rise above the rooftops, casting long shadows across the surrounding streets. People glance toward it as they pass, not in fear but in acknowledgement. It represents order, stability, and connection, a place where earth and sky seem to meet. As the morning continues, the city settles into its natural rhythm. Work is shared, time is measured by light and shadow, and the needs of the community shape every action. There are no grand declarations, no sense of destiny. And yet, something extraordinary is happening. Here, in the quiet routines of farming, building, trading, and recording, humanity is learning how to live together in a new way. The first cities are breathing, growing slowly with each sunrise. Between the rivers, life moves forward, steady, deliberate, and full of quiet promise. As the day moves gently toward midday, the city of Sumer settles into a quieter focus. The sun hangs higher now, warming the flat rooftops and drying the damp edges of the canals. Shadows shorten, gathering close to walls and doorways. This is the hour when the city turns inward, toward records, memory, and the unseen structure that holds everything together. Inside a cool, shaded room near the market, a scribe sits cross-legged on the packed earth floor. Before him lies a small stack of clay tablets, still soft and ready to receive marks. He holds a stylus made from reed, its tip carefully shaped. With calm concentration, he presses the stylus into the clay, creating rows of small, wedge-like impressions. Each mark is simple, each one precise. Together, they carry meaning. These signs record grain measured, animals counted, promises made, and goods exchanged. They are not poetry. They are not prayers. They are memory made solid, a way to hold the past so it does not fade. In this quiet room, surrounded by drying clay and filtered light, writing is taking its earliest breath. Outside, the city continues its gentle movement. A messenger walks carefully through the streets carrying a sealed tablet wrapped in cloth. It contains instructions meant for another household, another field, another decision. Words now travel without voices. Memory now moves beyond the mind. Near a canal, elders gather beneath a reed shelter. They speak softly, discussing water levels, planting times, and shared responsibilities. Their voices are calm, measured. Decisions are made not through command, but through consensus shaped by experience. The land teaches patience, and patience teaches order. At the edge of the city, a group of workers repairs a canal wall weakened by recent flooding. They press fresh mud into place, smoothing it with their hands. Water is life here, generous but dangerous if ignored. Managing it requires cooperation, foresight, and trust. These shared efforts quietly shape the first rules of community life. Nearby, a young apprentice watches an older scribe work. He studies the marks carefully, copying them onto a practice tablet. His movements are slow and deliberate. Each symbol must be learned by repetition, by touch, by feel. Writing is not rushed. It demands calm attention. As the heat of the day increases, people retreat into shaded spaces. Work continues, but at a gentler pace. Inside homes, women sort grains and mend woven baskets. Children rest on cool floors, listening to stories told in low voices. Stories of ancestors, rivers, and gods who shaped the land long before memory. High above the city, the ziggurat absorbs the sun's warmth. Its terraces glow softly, layer upon layer of mud brick rising toward the sky. From its upper levels, priests observe the land below, the canals, the fields, the movement of people. They see patterns forming, cycles repeating. The city is no longer just a collection of homes. It is a living system. As afternoon approaches, the scribe finishes his final tablet. He sets it aside to dry, placing it carefully among others. These small pieces of clay will outlast voices, footsteps, even buildings. They will carry the shape of this moment far into the future. The city exhales slowly. Between the rivers, something invisible but powerful has taken root. The idea that life can be recorded, organized, remembered, not through force, but through quiet marks pressed gently into clay. And so, under the steady sun, Sumer continues its calm transformation, building not only walls and canals, but the foundations of civilization. As the afternoon light softens, a quiet reverence settles over the city. The heat eases, and a gentle breeze moves along the canals, carrying the scent of water and clay. This is the hour when attention turns upward, toward the temples, the sky, and the unseen forces believed to guide the world. At the base of the ziggurat, priests move slowly across the courtyard. Their garments are simple, woven from pale fibers, their movements calm and deliberate. They speak little, conserving words for moments that matter. The temple is not a place of noise or spectacle. It is a place of order. The people of Sumer do not imagine their gods as distant or abstract. The gods are present in the river's rise and fall, in the success of crops, in the quiet stability of the city itself. Each deity has a role, guarding water, overseeing fertility, watching the stars, protecting the city. Life feels balanced when each force remains in harmony. A woman approaches the temple steps carrying a small offering, a handful of grain wrapped in cloth. She pauses, breathes, and places it gently at the altar. There is no dramatic gesture, no spoken plea. The act itself is enough. Gratitude is expressed through care and intention, not volume. Nearby, a priest prepares incense made from resin and herbs. As it burns, thin trails of smoke rise into the warm air, curling softly before disappearing. The scent drifts through the courtyard, calming those who pass. Even the city's animals seem to move more slowly here, as if sensing the quiet gravity of the space. From the upper terraces of the ziggurat, the view stretches wide. Canals shimmer in the light. Fields ripple gently with grain. Homes cluster together in protective patterns. The city feels small from this height, yet deeply connected. The priests observe not to control, but to understand, watching signs, patterns, and cycles that repeat day after day. In shaded rooms within the temple complex, scribes and attendants record offerings, ceremonies, and celestial observations. Clay tablets are stacked carefully, each one a fragment of collective memory. These records link the divine and the practical, ensuring that belief and daily life remain intertwined. As the sun lowers, shadows lengthen across the courtyard. People gather quietly, standing or sitting at a respectful distance. No one is required to attend. Faith here is not forced. It is shared, woven gently into the fabric of life. A low chant begins, slow, steady, almost like breath. It rises briefly, then fades, leaving behind a sense of stillness rather than excitement. The ritual is complete not when it ends, but when calm returns. As evening approaches, the ziggurat stands bathed in warm light. Its layered form catches the sun's final glow, each level casting soft shadows upon the one below. The structure feels timeless, as if it has always been there and always will be. For the people of Sumer, belief is not about fear or mystery alone. It is about balance between river and land, work and rest, memory and hope. The temples do not dominate the city, they anchor it. And as the day continues its slow descent toward evening, the city remains steady, guided by quiet rituals and an unspoken understanding that the world, though vast and unpredictable, can be gently ordered through shared belief and care. As the sun lowers toward the horizon, the city of Sumer begins to soften. The harsh brightness of the day fades into warm amber tones, and long shadows stretch across the streets and courtyards. This is the hour when work slows, and people begin turning toward one another. Near the canals, traders return from the fields and neighboring settlements. Donkeys walk patiently beside them, carrying bundles of reeds, baskets of grain, and jars sealed with clay. The water reflects the changing sky, rippling gently as boats glide toward their moorings. The day's labor is complete, and the city exhales. In the market area, a quiet evening exchange takes place. Goods are traded calmly. Grain for pottery, fish for woven cloth, dates for oil. Hands move slowly, counting and measuring with practiced ease. Conversations drift through the air, soft and familiar. This is not a place of urgency, but of connection. Children gather near the edges of the square, chasing one another in gentle games. Their laughter echoes lightly against the walls, then fades as they tire. Nearby, elders sit on low stools or woven mats, watching the scene with peaceful expressions. They speak of past seasons, of floods survived, of harvests remembered. Their voices are low, steady, shaped by years of shared experience. In one courtyard, a family prepares the evening meal. A clay pot simmers over a small fire, releasing the comforting scent of barley and herbs. Bread is broken and shared. Bowls are passed from hand to hand. Eating together is not rushed. It is a moment to slow down, to reconnect after the long hours of daylight. As the sky deepens in color, storytellers begin to speak. They do not stand on stages or raise their voices. Instead, they sit among the people, telling tales passed down through generations. Stories of rivers that once changed course, of cities founded and rebuilt, of gods who walked beside humans in the early days of the world. These stories are not entertainment alone. They are memory, teaching, and comfort woven into spoken words. A soft breeze carries the scent of water and earth through the streets. Lamps are lit one by one, their flames flickering gently in small clay holders. The city takes on a new character under this warm light. Walls glow softly, faces relax. The sharp lines of day dissolve into the rounded shapes of evening. Near the ziggurat, priests descend from the upper terraces, their duties complete. They walk quietly, blending back into the city, rather than standing apart from it. Faith here does not separate people, it connects them. As night approaches, the pace of movement slows even further. Tools are set aside, baskets are emptied, doors are closed gently, not locked. The city feels safe, held together by familiarity and shared rhythm. Above it all, the sky darkens into deep blue. The first stars appear, faint at first, then brighter with each passing moment. People glance upward instinctively, noting their positions. The heavens are not distant. They are part of the daily flow, just like the rivers below. This is the quiet strength of Sumer. Not only in its walls or temples, but in these shared moments of rest and reflection. As evening settles fully, the city prepares to enter the calm embrace of night, carrying with it the stories, connections, and gentle routines that define its life. As darkness settles gently over the land between the rivers, Sumer begins to grow quiet. The lamps glow softly inside homes, casting warm circles of light onto mud brick walls. Outside, the streets empty and footsteps fade into silence. The city rests, wrapped in the calm rhythm of night. The Tigris and Euphrates continue to flow without pause. Their waters catch the moonlight, reflecting silver patterns that move slowly across the surface. Reeds whisper as the night breeze passes through them, and insects begin their steady chorus. A low, constant hum that fills the air with reassurance. Inside the houses, families prepare for sleep. Mats are laid out. Thin blankets are pulled close. Children settle beside their parents, listening to the familiar sounds of the night. Some homes remain softly lit as elders speak quietly, sharing final thoughts before rest. Others fall silent completely, breathing slow and even. Near the edge of the city, guards walk calmly along the walls. Their presence is steady, unhurried. They listen more than they watch, to the water, to the wind, to the distant call of an owl. The city feels secure, protected not by force, but by awareness and routine. Above the rooftops, the ziggurat rises into the darkness. Its step terraces are bathed in pale moonlight, each level casting long, gentle shadows. From its upper platform, priests observe the night sky. They do not speak loudly or move quickly. This is a time for watching, not acting. The stars above Sumer shine brightly. Constellations drift slowly across the sky, marking time in ways older than words. The priests note their positions carefully, tracing invisible paths between them. The movement of the heavens offers guidance, not commands, but reassurance that the world continues in balance. Below, the canals reflect the stars like broken mirrors. Water laps softly against their banks. Boats rest quietly, tied with loose ropes. The scent of damp earth rises, cooling the air. Everything feels softened, slowed, and held in place. In one home, a child stirs briefly from sleep, then relaxes again as a parent places a gentle hand on their shoulder. In another, an elder gazes at the ceiling, listening to the night sounds with calm familiarity before drifting into dreams shaped by memory and river light. The city does not disappear at night. It transforms. Noise becomes stillness. Movement becomes rest. Thought becomes reflection. Even the gods feel closer now, not demanding attention, but quietly present in the stars, the rivers, and the steady flow of breath. As the night deepens, clouds drift slowly across the sky, dimming and revealing the moon in gentle cycles. The wind shifts, carrying the cool promise of the hours before dawn. The land between the rivers breathes deeply, content in its quiet order. This is Sumer at rest, a city balanced between earth and sky, water and stone, memory and dream. And as the stars continue their silent journey overhead, the people sleep peacefully, held by the same rhythms that have guided them since the beginning. Deep in the heart of the night, when even the rivers seem to slow their song, Sumer enters its most peaceful hours. The lamps have dimmed, the streets are empty, and the city rests beneath a sky filled with countless stars. This is the time of dreams, when memory drifts freely and the boundary between the seen and unseen grows thin. Inside the homes, sleep settles gently. Breathing becomes slow and steady. Blankets rise and fall in quiet rhythm. The warmth of shared spaces brings comfort, and the familiar sounds of night create a sense of safety that requires no thought. Dreams begin to unfold, shaped by the world each person knows. Some dream of fields beside the canals, barley bending in a soft breeze. Others dream of markets filled with friendly voices and hands exchanging goods. Children dream of running along riverbanks, feet touching cool mud, laughter echoing into the stars. These dreams are calm, grounded, woven from the simple patterns of daily life. To the people of Sumer, dreams are not meaningless. They are reflections, sometimes gentle, sometimes instructive. Elders believe that during sleep, the mind listens more closely to the world. The gods do not shout in dreams. They whisper, guiding rather than commanding. Near the ziggurat, a priest remains awake, seated quietly on the stone steps. He watches the sky with relaxed eyes, not searching for signs, but welcoming whatever appears. The moon casts a pale glow across the terraces, and shadows rest softly against the ancient walls. The priest breathes deeply, feeling the stillness of the hour settle within him. Above, the stars move in slow, predictable paths. They remind him that everything follows a rhythm. Rivers flood and recede, cities rise and endure, people are born and grow old. Nothing is rushed, nothing is wasted. The night holds all things gently. At the edge of the city, where the canals fade into open wetlands, animals move quietly through reeds and shallow water. Frogs call in steady patterns. Birds shift on their perches. The world does not sleep completely. It simply becomes quieter, more attentive. In one home, an elder dreams of the past, of a time before walls, before writing, before cities took shape. In the dream, people walk freely beside the rivers, guided only by the land and the sky. The dream is not sad. It is peaceful, reminding him that the present is built upon many calm beginnings. In another home, a young scribe dreams of clay tablets stretching far into the future, carrying knowledge beyond his lifetime. He does not know what they will become, only that his careful marks matter. The dream fills him with quiet purpose. The gods of Sumer do not appear as towering figures in these hours. They are present in subtler ways, in the steady movement of stars, in the protection of sleep, in the absence of fear. Their silence is a form of trust. As the night reaches its deepest point, the air cools slightly. A faint breeze moves across rooftops and water alike. The city remains still, held together by memory, belief, and shared rhythm. Between the rivers, humanity dreams, not of conquest or power, but of continuity, of another dawn, of life continuing gently, one breath at a time. As the night slowly loosens its hold on the land between the rivers, Sumer rests in its deepest calm. This is the hour just before dawn, when the stars begin to fade and the sky prepares for light, though darkness still lingers gently over everything. The air is cool and still. The rivers move quietly, their surfaces smooth and reflective, as if remembering every night they have carried before. Reeds stand motionless along the banks, and the sounds of insects soften, fading into long pauses of silence. Even the wind seems to wait. Within the city, sleep is heavy and peaceful. Dreams deepen, becoming slower, less defined. Breathing settles into a steady rhythm that matches the pulse of the earth itself. Homes feel warm and secure, filled with the quiet presence of those who rest inside them. The ziggurat rises above the rooftops, barely visible now in the dim blue light. Its terraces no longer cast shadows. Instead, they blend gently into the sky. The structure feels timeless, not standing against the night, but resting within it. On the upper platform, a final priest remains seated, wrapped in a simple cloak. He watches the horizon without expectation. This is not a moment for observation or interpretation. It is a moment of stillness, a pause between endings and beginnings. Far from the city walls, the fields lie silent. The canals hold their shape patiently, ready to guide water once more when the sun returns. Tools rest where they were set down the evening before, untouched and waiting. Nothing feels unfinished. The stars above dim one by one, retreating softly as the sky grows lighter. Their journey continues beyond sight, just as the rivers flow beyond the horizon. Time moves forward without urgency, carrying the world gently with it. Somewhere in the city, a child shifts slightly in sleep, then grows still again. An elder exhales slowly, releasing the weight of the day before. The city breathes together, unified in rest. This hour belongs to no one and nothing. It is not marked by work or ritual. It is simply the space between, where the world gathers itself quietly. As the first hint of light touches the far edge of the sky, Sumer remains peaceful. The coming day has not yet arrived, and the night has not yet departed. Everything exists in balance, suspended in calm. Between the rivers, before dawn, the world holds its breath. And in that breath, there is rest. Slowly, almost without notice, the first light of dawn returns to the land between the rivers. The sky shifts from deep blue to pale silver, then to soft shades of gold. Night releases its hold gently, without resistance, as if it has done this countless times before. The rivers reflect the changing colors, their surfaces waking before the city itself. A faint breeze moves across the water, stirring reeds and carrying the scent of damp earth into the streets. The air feels new, cool, and full of quiet possibility. Within the homes of Sumer, sleep begins to lighten. Dreams fade softly, leaving behind a sense of calm rather than urgency. Breathing remains slow, but awareness returns little by little. The world does not rush anyone awake. It simply waits. A bird calls from the edge of the city, its voice clear and gentle. Another answers from across the canal. These sounds mark the beginning of the day more reliably than any signal or command. Life responds naturally, guided by rhythm rather than force. As light reaches the rooftops, the ziggurat emerges once more from shadow. Its form becomes clearer, its steps defined again by contrast and shape. The structure has not changed through the night. It remains steady, a quiet witness to countless dawns. Soon, doors will open. Water will be drawn from the canals. Fields will be tended again, and clay tablets will receive new marks. But for now, the city lingers in this calm moment between rest and activity. The people of Sumer live within cycles, day and night, flood and harvest, sleep and waking. These cycles do not trap them, they guide them. Each return of light is a reminder that continuity is strength. Generations have risen with this same dawn. Generations will follow. The rivers will continue their slow paths, shaping the land just as memory shapes human life. Nothing here feels fragile. Everything feels rooted. As the sky brightens further, the city begins to stir. A figure moves quietly along a canal path. A hand reaches for a clay jar. A fire is coaxed back to life with gentle breath. These small actions mark the renewal of the world. Sumer does not announce itself. It simply continues. And in this continuation, in the quiet repetition of mornings, in the steady return of light, the true legacy of the first civilization lives on. Not in conquest or noise, but in balance, patience, and the enduring rhythm of life between the rivers. As the day begins once more in the land between the rivers, Sumer settles gently into its place in time. The morning light now fills the streets, the fields, and the canals, but nothing feels rushed. Life resumes not as something new, but as something remembered. The rivers continue their steady flow, just as they always have. They do not hurry. They do not pause. They carry with them the memory of countless mornings, countless lives shaped by their waters. Along their banks, the land remains open and generous, ready to receive the careful hands of those who live upon it. The city moves quietly now. People step into the day with familiar purpose. There is no need to question the rhythm. It has already been learned, practiced, and trusted. Each action fits naturally into the whole, like a breath following another breath. Above it all, the ziggurat stands unchanged. It has watched generations come and go. It has felt the heat of countless suns and the cool of endless nights. It does not speak, yet it remembers. It holds the shape of belief, effort, and continuity pressed gently into clay and stone. The first civilization does not announce itself as first. It does not seek recognition or legacy. It simply exists, grounded, balanced, and steady. Its strength lies not in power, but in persistence. Not in noise, but in order. Writing continues. Canals are maintained. Fields are planted and harvested. Stories are told and retold. Each small act adds another layer to something far larger than any single life. Time here does not feel like a line, but like a circle, always returning, always renewing. As centuries pass, cities will rise elsewhere. Empires will form and fade. Names will change. Borders will disappear. But here, between the rivers, something essential has already been set into motion. The idea that humans can shape their world through cooperation, memory, and patience. And now, as this journey gently comes to rest, Sumer remains where it has always been, not only in the land of ancient rivers, but in the quiet foundation of everything that followed. Let the rivers flow, let the city breathe, let time move forward without urgency. You do not need to stay awake to remember this place. It continues, whether watched or not. It rests now calmly beneath the sky, just as you can rest, knowing that the world has always known how to begin again. And so, with the soft rhythm of water and earth, the first civilization returns to silence, held gently by time itself.